start off a little bit about, welcome to the Forex League Live. Obviously, we've been doing these pretty much every single day, Tuesday through Thursday. All these trades that we are showing in here are being taken in the signals room. So these are leading up to that. And pretty much what we do is we just go over all of our analysis, the major, minor pairs, show you guys how we interpret the things that we're looking at, what we're looking for based on our strategies and the way that we obviously, trade in the market. So first thing we do is start with DXY. I'm going to pass it over to Nick, and he's going to get started.
500 just by following what they're saying.
Just mute this guy.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start off on DXY, as we always do, just to get an idea for the day. We see that it kind of pulled back.
Make sure you guys can all hear us, right?
Yeah, and you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Good. So this, it's still in a little 4-hour uptrend, but it pulled back, on this little leg down here. Still a higher low, so still above structure. So still very much bullish on this 4-hour trend. Again, we did want to see it range between, this resistance, this support around this monthly level, around 98.5. So we're still good for now, but let's move on to some pairs where we saw some trades developing. We're still pretty much stalking AU here.
Go over DXY though real quick, like why you look at it again. For people that don't know about DXY.
Right. So I look at it so I can get a general idea of, how the dollar is going to perform for, any given day or week. That's why I analyze this. I'll use it as an indicator more so rather than just like, oh, the, DXY is bullish, so we're going to, buy every USD pair. It doesn't really work that way. I'll just use it in conjunction with all my other, ways of analyzing. And it really does prove to, help and give you an edge in a way, because this giant push here was all from news when there was dollar shortage. Everyone was kind of holding the dollar. It was extremely in demand. And it actually got too high. So this is like a dangerous level. I say this every time I pull up a DXY chart for the most part. Anytime it's getting above 103, closer to 103.5, 104 area, it's not good. It actually has negative effects on other currencies. So, it's important that the Fed kind of controls this, and kind of the sweet spot that I've found is definitely below like 101, but slightly above this monthly.
We got a question in the chat. Is what drives DXY? Is it only fundamental?
No, it's, it's the most traded pair, right? So the US dollar makes up for 80% of all trade. So it's everyone's trading it. It's considered the reserve currency. So it's extremely in demand all the time. And especially so when all other currencies seem uncertain or more uncertain than normal. So, everyone kind of flocks to the US dollar, DXY here. And that's why you saw this giant push, because everyone was trying to hold cash and it created a dollar shortage. So naturally demand rises, right? So does price. But that's not good, like as I said. So they want to see it at a stable level, especially, the reserve currency is that way because it's considered the safest. So they want it to be stable. They want it to be, not fluctuating like this, right? All the way up to 103 from all the way down here, 95 to 103. That's not stable, So in between this level is kind of the sweet spot right now. As we're identifying higher time frame trends as the 4-hour develops and so on, we're going to get a better understanding of where DXY is going to go long term. So again, this is the 4-hour. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so we're on to AU here. AU is still in this little bullish trend. You can see it's starting to flatten out though. We're getting a bit of a double top pattern, both on a lower time frame and on this 4-hour. We're also at the 61.8 fib, so there's a lot of confluence in this area, especially you see this 200 EMA coming down, starting to flatten out a little bit. So is this little 4-hour bullish trend. So I think we could see another leg to the downside potentially if we do get those confirmations. So let's go ahead and drop to the 1-hour. Right? Yeah, it looks like potential for a double top, in which case we'll look for, bullish, bearish setups, like a nice bearish engulfing through the MAs. And then I would take a short on that potentially. And then just target these, minor support levels as well as these higher time frame support levels as you see, price action develop and, transition to this bearish leg here. So I definitely think we could see a nice push down, but, about 250 pips. So we'll see if we see those confirmations, something like this maybe over here. See, it's a little bit of a double top. And then price action just fell out and started forming these lower lows, right? So something like that potentially. You can see how I kind of have used this bar pattern, this tool over here, bar pattern. You can
Yes,
kind
you're
of
just
copy this.
mimicking a potential scenario. We got stops in a place where we're comfortable with, so got to let the market, do its thing.
Right.
Sometimes you get
Absolutely.
into some drawdown. This is when psychology, you got to be strong.
Yeah. So this could present a really nice trade. So we'll be watching this one. It's AU. And let's keep going. I think let's do AJ. AJ's looking very similar. Very, very similar, right? Potential for a double top scenario. One of two scenarios on AJ. Either it's gonna break resistance, test it as support, and then it'll continue to move to higher highs. Or we could see it fall back into this, this range here that we have. And we'll target lower time frame support as well as higher time frame. It's monthly down here at 64. So there's a lot of potential in AJ as always, as it does move the most. So this first section is 200 pips down to the monthly is like 350. So we could see a move down, or again, just wait for those confirmations. Don't force any trade.
Yep. And I think, Hansino, what was your question about breakthrough resistance? Is that for NCAT or which one?
Yeah, it's
For AU? Let's go AU. Well, overall, this thing still is bearish in the sense that it's retesting that previous high that found resistance. And obviously, the level that he has marked at the 618, previously has been respected significantly, as in it fell off, like 100 pips or whatever from that level before, 150 pips,
yeah. I mean,
all the way from there.
yeah,
More than that.
200.
So this is definitely a major level that, and even if you go back further to where you have it drawn, has been respected. And then also we're below the 200-day moving average. So the average of price for the last 200 days, we're still below that level. We're still below that level. So overall, we still are bearish on this higher time frame right now.
Now, granted, if it does push up to here, right, then this is invalid. Then that's all that means. And then you could maybe start to change your bias if price action just pushes up to here and then closes, right? Because this would need to be a swift move for us to really be convinced that this is going to be, the move that breaks or that continues this 4-hour bullish trend opposed to this daily, bearish trend. So, I mean, we'll see. We're just waiting for those confirmations. This is definitely the favorable trend. That's favorable trade. It's mostly bearish other than the 4-hour. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. All right, on to EU. Let's see. Just hop on the daily real quick. Right, definitely bearish. We've been getting these pretty significant moves to the downside. Definitely way more bears than bulls, right? So, I mean, right now it's all time frames are bearish. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4-hour and see what. So we were waiting for, yeah. So we saw this giant push down, right? And we had caught a trade a couple weeks ago on this transition, right? We saw that it was going to break, broke, retested, and then there were plenty of bearish setups on lower time frames to enter on, and it pushed lower. But then, we're getting a bit of a pullback on this 4-hour downtrend. So I want ideally the 38.2 would be nice to see that it would be rejected from once again, and then we could start to look for shorts again down to this higher time frame monthly support. Right, so we're just waiting on this. We're not trying to force anything. We definitely want to see the best situation before we, just jump into any trade, especially now. Things are kind of not the most natural yet. Markets are still recovering. So I mean, we're doing.
Yeah, we were looking at some trades yesterday, some pairs, and structure isn't forming as well as we'd like, according to what we look for. So all that means is that we're just going to continue to be patient, take this as lessons in your own right. I know you day traders are looking for any sort of like position to scalp 20 pips or whatever. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. We're looking for the confirmation that's going to allow us to, use the risk and to have our stops in the right places and to just honestly chill out and just wait for trades to hit. So
yeah, exactly. We know that conditions aren't normal, so we're just going to wait until we see, things that we're used to seeing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of trading is knowing when not to trade as well. So I mean, I just want to see this, like, and this is a good scenario,
Here
good
long.
example as to why, we're going to wait for structure to form. I want to see this 38.2 hit once again,
Hmm.
200 EMAs right there. And then, of course, we want to see some strong bearish setups. So, like, multiple confirmations.
Yeah, I'd say if you're long on this right now, to just monitor around that 1.09900 level, like as price comes to that level, it'll definitely
Yeah.
based like if you see some sort of lower time frame transitions over there where structure starts to break, then I would be getting out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. So that was EU. I mean, again, these are kind of secondary trades. I'm still waiting for these to develop. AU is closer, and CAD obviously is. We'll get to that in a second. So similar here with EJ. Want to see this like pullback. Ideally, the 618 because this volume is so large. I really am not convinced that it's going to reverse at this level and just push lower. I think it's still got a little more in it. So I'm going to wait for the 61.8, the weekly. Definitely a huge confluence area, right? And I want to see some crossovers with these MAs on a lower time frame off the 618, right? So here's that 4-hour bullish trend. Nice little transition here, just pushing higher, leg after leg. Yes, this trade's not quite ready yet. Still waiting on this to develop. Let's just keep moving. Move over to NCAD. All right, so this was a trade that I marked up. And
Yeah, I mean, this one was looking good too, but it's coming
yeah,
back.
it was, but it's not quite ready yet. So it wanted to come up and retest again. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, now it's kind of breaking structure levels.
What on this? Yeah,
Yeah.
so we got 1 hour. It's important to note 1 hour structure has broken, in some minor structure. The 200-day moving average, has shifted. You got this level marked that's being tested now, which is, definitely a level of resistance that we're looking at. But I think ultimately what to look at with this pair is just these highs right now, considering where you do have the stops, right?
Right.
As these highs get tested, because bump up to the 4 hour on this. Up to the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, the 4 hour, we still do have the 200-day that's been respected. And this has happened before where price will come back, retest these levels and then ultimately go in the direction that we're looking for. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Especially in a time like this, it's definitely not uncommon to see these multiple tests, something we're not used to seeing that much on certain pairs, but it definitely likes to come back, pulls back quite a bit, if you could see here too, a bunch of times. So we'll see. Right now we're still protected, by this zone. If we start to see, a transition out of this zone, we'll look to close.
The inverted neck and shoulders and so. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It's a good point there. We'll see.
So yeah, all right. Then I saw a movement happening on gold. Potentially a breakout and continuation higher. Again, it hasn't formed structure yet, but the way this is looking, it's just kind of holding at this level, and it's definitely breaking out of this triangle pattern. So you could see a movement higher to touch this monthly once again. It's 1675. Just for a quick gold analysis.
Look at gold, all the wicks. I mean, look at that previous flag that went down. Very similar to what's going on right now. So, could we see gold accelerate? I mean, we'll see.
Could. A lot of wicks, a lot of demand for gold right now too. So we'll see. Pretty good.
Remember, we got to stay up fundamentally on what's going on with the U.S. The U.S. is going to drive a lot of these. The dollar has been fairly strong. The dollar has been fairly strong.
Yeah.
As some more news comes out around what we're trying to do. Like I saw an update today, how Trump's trying to reopen the U.S. economy. Which is really crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's a bold move. It's a bold move there, Trump.
He's just trying to pump everything up, and as those things come out, like when I hop on, are you done with all your pairs?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna hop on. We're gonna take a look inside is everybody that's in the signals, that's in the groups, are you guys looking at this fundamental chat first of all? Because I'm gonna pull it up real quick, and I just want to go over,
Yeah,
kind of what went down yesterday. We want to read through. So let's see. Monday we had. Let's just read through real quick, and I know everybody can read, but I'm gonna read it. Some USD analysis. So we can see that the US dollar is pushing to the upside today, caused most likely by the stimulus package that is being released by the Federal Reserve. So the stimulus package is very important right now. So what's going on with that? This will keep their economy intact as much as possible until the virus is contained and there is no threat to all. Look for some updates with small businesses too. We're planning on buying the US dollar against JPY since our opinion. So we had a little idea on Monday about USD JPY. There's a scenario where the virus gets worse in the case that we may see some range-bound motion USD JPY, considering the fact that on one side we have USD, which will most likely strengthen. On the other side, we have JPY, which is safe haven, and the demand for it will be a lot. So again, we always say this, as USD weakens, JPY gets stronger. JPY is a safe haven currency. I believe there was some news yesterday, though, that came out about JPY doing or in Japan, them doing some sort of lockdown or them getting more strict with what's going on there. So that's important to take note of. Someone mentioned yesterday the stimulus package. So the stimulus package is basically this measure that the U.S. passed to deliver all Americans. What is it, like $1,000?
It's like $1,200 if you make under a certain amount.
Yeah, if you make under a certain amount of money, it's like delivering $1,200, and then it's also it has a lot of ties. It's tied to the healthcare system.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of funds that are being allocated towards them. There's a lot of funds being allocated towards small to medium-sized businesses for them to apply for like grants. Like they're not loans; they're actually grants that could potentially be forgiven. So that's huge. But I mean, it really just comes around like, okay, as real as real scientists and like real research comes out around the virus and the projections on how long it can last, that's inevitably going to damage any package that comes out. But Trump's going to continue to cheerlead and to obviously talk up the dollar as much as possible, which is important. And the fact that he does the daily stand-up meetings now is very important for the US dollar, because he's coming on the live and he's telling you what he's all the updates, and people want to hear that.
Yep.
People want to hear that. Yeah, they're
injecting. It only shows promise,
Exactly. You have to watch inflation. Yeah, and their interest rates are zero now. So then obviously, the GBP, obviously Boris Johnson, he's not in too stable of condition, which think of it in terms of if Trump went down right now in the US, that would probably be
have huge implications on the market.
That would be very detrimental to the market because he's parading around and he really is driving things right now.
We really see the dollar nosedive for like a day, probably.
Yeah, we would see the dollar nosedive, and then until they appointed new people and there was more certainty around what's going on. So that's the same thing with GBP. If he dies, realistically, if something serious does happen to him, it will have bad implications for GBP, but
definitely.
I'm not certain, how much does GBP strive really around the world? Like, I'm not certain that it would have long lasting implications.
No, it would be speculatively driven. That's it.
Yeah, I think it would be more speculative. Would make the lower low. Yeah, it would make the lowest low ever. So again, yeah, this is our, fundamental chat. I think it's important right now to stay up. Today, these will get posted. Maybe I'll share one of those with you guys for free in the chat. And let's get back on the charts though. Let's take a look. Obviously we've been in UCAD and I've been in USEF, and we're finding some resistance now. So let's just pop up to the daily time frame. Yesterday closed very bearish. Yesterday closed extremely bearish. I'm just gonna move this up. Yesterday closed extremely bearish, no wick at all. And then now we have today, 6 hours left, obviously. We're starting to find a lot of resistance from this level. I believe that we could drop further, but we really need to close. This candle really needs to close, really where it is now or lower. So let's go to the 4 hour. As we do, we just go from time frame to time frame until we see structure clearly. So on this daily, this is our overall structure. We formed this low, we formed this lower high, then we just formed, potentially forming another lower high out of our supply zone, 200-day moving average right here. So we're looking to continue this momentum, right now at the moment. Down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we were obviously we broke below this support level. This was like our main level that we broke below. Then I fibbed from high to low. This is our fib levels that we had on 78.6, 88.6 was being tested. This is when we started to short based on this candle closure. So it was like really double top, supply, higher time frame supply zone, 88.6, a bunch of confirmations there. So at this point, we're maintaining this lower time frame trend. So we want to bump to the lower time frame. So for you intraday, people right now, like let's monitor the lower time frame and let's see what is going on and if we could potentially. I know, Hans, we talked about re-entry. Where could we potentially re-enter? Look right now. I want you to look at sort of what's going on. This would have been a nice little position, like nice little move if you're just looking for intraday. 38.2 double top, a lot of resistance, fell through. For me personally, based on my 30-minute or based on my 1 hour, I wouldn't enter anything at the moment because look how this is closing. A lot of exhaustion, ton of exhaustion right now. I think ideally for us, if we could get another retest, we could retest back up to here and then find resistance at this level, we're going to short. If we break above here intraday, we could look for a little position to the upside. And I say that, I'm going to start bringing this over. And I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring this over. This was that key level that we broke as support, now turn resistance. And this is why, stops are at break even right now, or we put them even a little bit in profit. At least for me on this pair, I put some like stops in profit because this is a main level of resistance. We break above here, we don't want to be in this. But if we do a little bit of a break above this, I know I got a lot of lines on here. I'm going to clear this up for you guys. But if we do a break above this level and we get a nice little retest, intraday, could we long into that resistance level? Definitely a move that could be made. But I think more importantly, to go along with our higher time frame trend, we are looking to retest this and to find resistance and continue on with this overall move. We had marked all the way back here that this was the move. You know what I mean? So that's what we're sticking to. Again, 4 hour time frame, we had marked that this would be the move. Obviously, we're not predicting anything. This is just one of our forecasts. It could have broken above, whatever. So we're forecasting that this is a move that could be made. So if we could get a retest here and then find resistance, that is sort of the next opportunity on USAP. So some moves in profit. So yeah, definitely protect yourself. You entered late on this. We're just going to monitor this. At the moment, again, no entries at the moment. We are looking to retest this level based on the candle closure of this. If we continue to fall, great. For those maintaining this trade, you're going to continue to see profits. For us trying to look for an entry, there is no entry at the moment. So I will come back in probably like 2 to 3 hours, depending on the volume, and we will look at this again. So that's USAF. Let's go to GU. Oh, so GU is finally breaking into some profit. I should have actually put this out as a signal. Let's take a look at.
Wait for a lower time frame retest.
Let's take a look at GU because GU is looking fine right now. Let's go up to the weekly.
Nice break.
Right. So weekly is interesting. Weekly, we had this bullish engulfing. Then we had this bearish candle. We're still below these moving averages. We're still below the moving averages. We're still pointing, kind of down. We're pointing downward realistically. As we cycle down to the daily, obviously a lot of momentum, broke above the moving averages. Then what we were really waiting for is we were waiting for these moving averages to start pointing up to show us, and as these candles form, to show us momentum. And then also the closure yesterday of this was fairly significant. This I would definitely consider a morning star. This I would consider to be a morning. There's a little bit of a gap here, which kind of makes it look ugly. but we did get some closure. We got some resistance. Let's continue to cycle down to the 4-hour. So 4-hour, this was the setup. Push, flagpole, flag, range within our flag. Then this is why this is significant right now. Break of resistance, retest, huge bullish engulfing.
Yep. That's it right there.
Huge bullish engulfing. So just give me 1 second. This would be, and let's cycle down now to the 1-hour. 1-hour, we have break of resistance. We mapped this out yesterday. Break of resistance, right here. This was yesterday's. We were like, all right, let's wait. Ultimately, boom. Right here would have been the most ideal entry. This.
Yeah.
And that's based on our entry rules of pullback, moving through the moving averages, bullish, variations. Also, if we were to fib this entire range, 38.2, right there. So yeah, if we were to enter down here, we would have had a nice ass risk reward. It would have been something like this. At the moment, if we do want to enter late, and this is what you do. If you enter late, I would just chill out for a second, Sumi. If you enter late, your stops are going to have to be all the way down here, 120 pips. Now, our targets are pretty high, right? So that's important. So, if you want to enter late, we'll see. We'll see what we're going to do following this call. I'll put something out.
Yeah, this develops a little more. And we're always watching, so.
120.02 trade. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna take a look a little bit further at this. 2, 2. All right. Let's drag this flag over again. So, based on our flag, me and Nick don't like to, like Nick says, like trend lines or whatever. We don't validate them. We don't validate them too much.
They're more so just for identifying channels and trends. Good.
I mean,
structure forming trends.
At this point, we're definitely breaking out. But look at this 4-hour. We probably will find some sort of retest at this level as price hits this 200-day moving average.
Some sort of resistance.
Definitely. Yeah, there's going to be some resistance here most likely, and there's going to be a pullback. And yeah, we'll take a look. We'll see what's going on. Again, if you do want to enter now, this is your stop. This is your stop, 120 pips. This is your target up here, 250 pips. So, that is that is sort of the position if you were to enter right now.
Remember, use consistent risk. Just use like 1 or 2%.
Yeah, use 1%.
And then the lot size will be adjusted for it.
Especially if you're using consistently 2% on your trades or 5%. If you're getting in on a late entry like this and you're extending your stop loss, that's probably why I'm waiting for a bullet. If you're waiting for or if you're getting in on a late entry like this and you're extending your stop loss, cut your risk in half. Cut your risk in half because you're late on the position. So if you were to enter this and you normally enter 5%, enter 2.5%. If you normally enter 2%, enter 1%, 1%, 0.5%. Right? So then if this doesn't go the way you planned, you don't get really frustrated because you didn't get in at your most ideal, position. You know what I mean? So that's GU, I'm going to move that up. We went over USEF, we'll see how that plays out. UCAD, this one is interesting. Let's start up on the weekly. 2 days left. Let's see if we can engulf. We're getting some resistance here, which is not pretty. Again, up in this supply zone, we keep finding resistance out of here. Let's go to the daily time frame. Two very bearish candles the last 2 days. A little wick, but two very bearish candles the last 2 days, which is important, to take note of. Today we're finding some pullback. Look at the moving averages though. This thing is like freaking like a snake up here. This thing's still pointing up, right? So that's showing us that this whole push was very significant. We're getting the crossover moving averages because we have found some bearish pressure. But at the same time, we're still looking to ultimately push. Could it come right now? Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we have been we broke support here. This was our 4 hour structure level, broke support. This was that zone that we were continuing to look in. We took that short in UCAD out of here, which was a nice position. Now at the moment, we haven't moved our fib yet. We haven't broke our 0% level. So, potential scenarios on UCAD, let's drag this across again like this. Obviously, we're finding some resistance right now. Based on this 4 hour, though, just like a overall forecasting of an idea, we could potentially come back up to retest all the way up to here. All the way up to here. Let's go to the 1
It's
hour.
definitely got some room. It's definitely got some room to pull back.
Yeah, let's go to the 1 hour. Look at this on the 1 hour time frame right now. Basically, let's delete this. This is also important. This was our target. This was our target on this trade. This 4 hours resistance and support, and look at the freaking target, the way it hit. You know what I'm saying? This is what we want to look at, and then we got that 4 hour engulfing. That was realistically an exit. Really an exit. You got two confirmations: support, engulfing, exit candle on this. Okay. With this in mind, like this level down here, I'm just gonna drag this across. That level ultimately needs to be broken to head lower, obviously. Now, on this 1 hour, like on the 4 hour, we're bearish. Daily time frame, we're starting to form lower highs. We're bearish. Weekly time frame, we're bearish. We need to then be on this 1 hour time frame. This is what's most relevant. Let's take this off. There's a lot going on here, obviously, but one thing that I'm looking at is the 200-day moving average sort of flatlining right now. But what is 1 hour structure? What could we say is 1 hour structure? I would fib all the way from this high. There was a lot of consolidation here, a lot of consolidation. Then we broke below, this level. I would fib from here to here. We had these retests of 38.2, retest again. I would ultimately fib on 1 hour time frame from this bearish candle to our new low right now. We tested the 618. I'm gonna take this off. Tested the 618, found some resistance. If we double top at this 618 and we, similar to this, get a bearish engulfing through the moving average, then we will short UCAT. Okay. If we break above this and start to come to this level, then I'm going to bump up to the 4 hour, and I'm just going to wait on the 4 hour for some sort of 4 hour resistance, engulfing, whatever. Very similar to how I looked at this. I wasn't on the lower time frame, like sweating bullets. I was up on the 4 hour, and I saw that. Then the 30-minute became very easy. I saw my first 30-minute bearish engulfing enter. So that's what we're looking for on UCAT. I'm looking for either a double top right here through the moving average, or if it breaks up to the 4 hour, see how it plays out on this level right there. And yeah, that's it for UCAD. So let's go over to NU. Let's go up to the daily. So we had some ideas forecasted from yesterday up to the weekly. Again, we're at a very significant level, this weekly support level. We're finding a lot of indecision around this as we cycle down to the daily. The daily time frame is bearish, obviously. Lows, lower high, low. Form this lower high right here. This is what we're monitoring. We're monitoring to see how price reacts to that level. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour has transition. 4 hour has transition. 4 hour is pretty bullish, at the moment. Let's take these off for now. 4 hour is pretty bullish. Why do I say that? Nice double top conform on the daily and the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
let's see the 4 hour. Let's like just bring this into perspective here. 4 hour had these levels. Ultimately, there was a break here, and then let's continue to drag this across. Break here, retest, huge 4 hour engulfing
yeah.
right there. Let's go to the 1 hour. 1 hour. Let's fib from our low to our high all the way up to here. 38.2. 38.2, double bottom, 38.2. So at the moment, everything is indicating, from my perspective, that we're going to get into this zone, that we're going to continue into this zone. So I'm really looking for NZ to come up into this zone. Let's go back up to the 4 hour and ultimately up to the daily. And once we re-enter that zone, like on the daily time frame, we really need to break above that to really like go long on this. But on this 4 hour, if we, very similar to how I had marked before, we're gonna look, we're gonna be patient. We're gonna use the 4 hour. If we come up to this zone, we break and then we retest, then we will go long.
Yep, absolutely. Only after it's broken a significant level, and we have kind of more conviction as to where it's going to go.
Yeah. So if we get some more conviction here, we break above, retest long. But at the same time, let's take this off and let's just map out what also may happen is we could come up to this 4 hour and we could fall. And very similar to what Bradley just said, could we find resistance here? Sure. We could find resistance here and fall, but I don't see this as being very significant level. I see this as being my more significant level, and that's why I'm really looking for price at this point based on what it's showing us. We're just made a huge bullish engulfing out of our weekly support level. So this to me shows there's probably enough buy orders to get us to this daily. And as it comes into this daily, that's when we'll reevaluate. So
yeah.
NU looking to push. Let's go to UJ. UJ is just loving it right now. UJ is having the time of its fucking life.
Yeah, it's from a good flag.
So let's see the weekly. Those are obviously just my arrows. Don't be fooled by those. Those aren't exhaustion. Weekly time frame. We were forming some bearish structure. We retested this level, fell. Let's go to the daily. Daily time frame again, very bearish until we break above here. The daily is bearish. We did form this higher low, but at the same time, if we were to fib, we're still within this larger fib. Yep. We hit 100%. We found support at 618, and we talk about this, in our course or whatever. If we at these higher time frame PRZ levels for the fib, we are not going to just go from 100% to zero. You know what I'm saying? It's going to form structure. It's going to form a trend.
Right.
We're going to hit 100%, come to 618, hit 78.6, come to 38.2, hit 50%. Like that's the market. The market is going to trend. Okay. If we hit 38.2 is our first PRZ zone, most times 38.2 is like our quick rejection. Like it'll hit 38.2 and it'll go. That shows a very healthy trend. 38.2. If 38.2 is being respected, most likely it will reach that next projection.
Right.
That's like that's Fibonacci, rules of Fibonacci. But 618, it'll start trending. 78.6, it'll start trending, especially 100%. It's going to be trending. So right now we're just trending. Based on this 4 hour, based on 4 hour structure, what is this? Based on 4 hour structure, we broke above this level of resistance right here. This was the break. Now we're forming this flag. So we're forming this flag, which we identified. Let's see on the 1 hour how this looks. So again, what is a flag? Flagpole. Boom. Let's make this a little bit. Whoa. So we got our flagpole. like that, boom. And then, now we're forming these lower highs, lower lows. So we're just consolidating within this range. See how we're not taking buys yet? Look at this resistance at the top of the trend line, right? If anything, where we want to get in is at the bottom of the trend line. We want to take buys down here. Look at previously, 1, 2, we want to take, it's a channel. It's a channel that we're in. Lower time frame channel. I'm personally not doing that. Personally, what we're waiting for is this.
Yeah, I see more of a clean break.
We're waiting for the break. The break
clean
above. Obviously, break of. Now we're forming some resistance right here. That's what we're waiting for.
Oh yeah, nice higher low.
And then this was obviously yesterday. All we're doing now is we're moving this across. And hold on a second. We are moving this across. We've got this support level. Again, what is that? That is that 4-hour resistance. Now turn support. We've got that in play. So we got a couple things. We got some some confluences for damn sure.
Yep.
Let's move this to here. We got 38.2. We got support. We got this lower trend line. As we come into this level, like we're gonna look at this 200-day starting to move a little bit more upwards. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely major. So UJ, this is what we're looking for right now with UJ. I'm gonna drop this. We're gonna try to drop all of our analysis from this into the chat afterwards. I'm gonna drop some updates in there for you guys. And then last but not least, I'm gonna cover GJ. GJ, we've been monitoring. Obviously, this 4-hour has been bullish. Daily time frame had some indecision, but this huge bullish engulfing. I've just been hesitant because of this weekly resistance level that I have marked, right here. So let's go down to the daily time frame. Again, have some minor resistance that we need to break. And look at this indecision. Didn't engulf, spinning top, very low volume. Look at the volume that came from this level. Huge volume. Now, what I'm waiting for is very similar to this, is I'm waiting for this break above, retest to the blue zone, and then another push. That's what we're waiting for on this. We're not doing anything yet because realistically, based on this 4-hour, if we break at this point, if we break below here, we are shorting the shit out of this.
Yep.
Based on that level. We are going to short the shit out of this. But if we break above and we get that retest, then we're going to long. We're going to long and we're going to ride it into the upper zone because we're just trading, zone to zone. We're trading weekly, monthly key levels. Like we're trading where most of the orders are being placed. That's what we're looking for most of our setups. So again, this is a very weak trend right now.
Yeah,
this higher high, this higher low. This is very weak. It's failing to really form these ultimate higher highs right here. Long ready, so what do you think for UJ? Hey, I mean, we went over it. I told you what we think. If you're in already, I think you're gonna be waiting a little bit longer to get to see what the deal kind of is with UJ. But like I said, if you longed at the bottom of that channel and then you played it off the top of the channel, that's kind of what the move is. We're in consolidation, right? We're in some consolidation. We want to be in a trending market. I think as we break above the channel and as we find support, then it'll be trending. It'll be trending more. Okay? So this is GJ. So again, everything that I went over is the major pairs: GU, USEF, UCAD, NU, UJ, and then GJ. And then Nick, you went over again?
I went over DXY, AUD USD, AUD JPY, Euro USD, Euro JPY, NCAD, and gold.
Oh yeah. So, if you guys have any final questions, you guys can hit us up in the chat right now and we can, we can talk. This is the signals for you guys that are interested. We did do the $1 for this month. We let in, I believe, 50 people. And, those 50 people are inside right now. You guys are inside. Obviously, the signals chat and everything. NCAD, be patient. We obviously went over a little example for our UCAD trade. If you had a $10,000 account, the profit that you would have made 5% risk, you would have made $1,100. 2% risk, you would have made $450. 1% risk, you would have made $225. So it's important for you to understand lot size calculations. We do suggest 1 to 2% risk. To calculate your lot size real quick to go over that, whatever the stop loss is, in this case, it was 66 pips. If you're risking 2%, you're risking $200, right? You're risking $200. 200 divided by 660 equals 0.30. That's the lots that you're going to use. And then whatever lot size, obviously, you use, multiply that by the TP or by your final take profit level, then that's the profit that you're going to get. So, if you guys are interested in signals, what I will say is DM us, after this. Let's talk, everything that's included: signals, fundamental updates, live sessions, and our 35-page trading plan. For you guys that are inside, if you have questions, obviously hit us up as well, and just be patient. We'll get more signals out to you. I will say this, though, it's the quality over the quantity. For you guys that want 20 signals a day, you guys need to find a way to entertain yourselves, because it is not, it's quality over quantity, people.
Definitely.
We're looking for
Especially
percentage gain. At the end of the month, if you're up 5% and you took 2 trades, you win.
Yeah, it's a big win.
You win. If you're up 20% and you took 2 trades, you win. Okay? You don't need to take 100 trades to make 20% on the account. We want to take our trades. We want to maintain them as well as we can. Ultimately, as we saw last week or 2 weeks ago, there was 2 very large running trades that ran for like 250 pips.
Yep.
Those are the trades that make your month. And in every trading book you read, they talk about realistically taking less positions and holding them for long periods of time. It's not that they're swing traders. They're maximizing their reward.
Exactly.
They're maximizing the reward. So we say that we're swing traders, but realistically, we hunt intraday. We hunt for intraday moves. I know you're joking. We hunt intraday moves. We look for the intraday moves, because intraday you can get little tighter stop loss, right? Get a little tighter stop loss. And, if you're using 1%, say you take out three positions in a row, 3%. I was talking to a more professional trader. 3 positions in a row, he was taking out 3%. And then the 4th position, he makes 7%. That means he's up 4%. You know what I mean? So it all comes into play. So yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to DM us. We'll be live again tomorrow. This is all recorded, so we're going to upload this after this call. And Nick, if you have any final remarks.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, guys, thank you guys for staying in. And this was another great morning session. And we'll put out signals as we see them. But as always, guys, happy trading. And we'll see you in Discord, hopefully.
Yeah, best of luck. And tomorrow, we're not sure what time. It'll probably be 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. EST. So right around the same time.
Yeah, right around.
Oh yeah. So enjoy. Best of luck. Talk to you guys soon.